Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you've had a great day so far. So today I'm not going to be reacting to anything from the Rewired Soul in this video because I wanted to sit down and just have a conversation with you guys and kind of give you an introduction to who I am. I feel like I hopped on this platform, started popping off on some videos and sending them up for you guys to watch and didn't really let you know who the heck I am other than in my intro. So that's what we're doing today. But before we get into that, if you are new here, welcome. This is Journey to Find Kay, and I'm Kay. I like to talk about mental health and react to the Rewired Soul because I'm a mental health patient, worker, and advocate, and I honestly want to put my own work experience, opinions out there to combat the negative that he puts out on this platform. So if you like my content, you enjoy watching me, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that way you're notified every time I post a video, and let's get into this, okay? So, who's Kay? Like I said, I feel it is very important for me to be transparent. I feel after the whole debacle with Chris and how everything came out about basically how he's fronting on his work experience, on everything, I can understand people that might be hesitant to hear someone say, oh, they're a worker, without really explaining, what do you do? What's your life? Who are you? So that's what I'm doing. You guys notice every time I do my intro, I make sure that I tell you that I am a mental health patient, worker, and advocate. Not always in the same order, I know, but I want to make sure you guys know that I put that in the forefront of why I put out these videos about the Rewired Soul, my reactions, and why when I get bigger, I'll be making more content on like mental health stuff and different things that that cover mental health as well. So for me to do that, I feel like it's kind of important for you to know, who are you subscribed to? What is my experience? Do I know what I'm talking about? That kind of thing. So that's what I wanted to do. And just keep it all the way 100 with you guys, because that's the only way I know how to live. Just saying. So, who is Kay? So let me just start off with the basic information. I am a 32-year-old cisgender female out here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a mom. I'm a partner. I say partner because I do not believe in putting the gender norm names on things. Me and my partner we're partners. We don't call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, none of that. He's my partner. So I have a partner, my boys. I work full-time at a mental health clinic as a case manager. And I'm going to go into a little bit deeper about my work experience. So those are just kind of the basics I can give you right there. Boom. If that's all you wanted to hear, bye, see you later. You can leave my video. Please don't. I want you to hear me. I want you guys to know who I am, you know? But anyway, I'm just kidding, guys. But I always say those 3 words, so I'm going to hit each point so that way you guys know who I am. It kind of covers everything, you know? So when I talk about advocacy, I'm kind of going to skim through this real quick. We kind of know what advocacy is. We want to bring it to the forefront when we're talking about anything mental health, substance abuse, anything like that. We want it to be destigmatized. We want to normalize. We want to educate, break down barriers, all of that type of stuff. So that when I say advocacy, that's kind of what I mean. I push it on everybody. I'm a big pusher on therapy, on taking care of your mental health, whichever way works best for you, seeing psychiatrists, take medications, all of that. So that's what that means, right? Okay, so patient. I think it's kind of self-explanatory when you really think about it. We know that means, okay, she probably takes care of her mental health. That means she probably has a psychiatrist, or maybe she takes meds, or maybe she's in therapy, and all of that is correct. I have a psychiatrist that I meet with every 3 months to check on my medications, up dosages, stuff like that. I have medications that I take daily and as prescribed, because that's what I'm supposed to do. It helps take care of my mental health to make sure that I'm being healthy all the way around, right? And then I also have a therapist that when I need therapy, I do therapy. The way I work therapy is I use it to help me learn coping skills, to help me in my day-to-day life. If I have a crisis or anything like that to where I need to speak with my therapist, I schedule appointments and we work through it like that. That's how I do therapy. So that's kind of the basics of me being a patient. I do have diagnoses. I have been diagnosed as bipolar 1, ADHD, and anxiety. So those are my 3 main diagnoses that I have. I am also a person who is in recovery. I am in recovery for the past 10 years from cocaine, and I've been in recovery for alcohol the past 2 years. Cocaine and alcohol have been my drug of choice when I was using. Yes, the alcohol is more recent. It is something that it took me a very long time to understand that I had a problem with drinking. To this day, it still struggles. I'm 2 years in and I still have cravings. I still have moments where it's just like, not trying to sensationalize or anything like that, but I am. So those are my 2 aspects when I say patient. I am someone who is an addict, and I am someone who is a mental health patient. And when I say I'm an addict, and I own all of my addictions. I'm addicted to nicotine. I smoke cigarettes. I'm addicted to food, which was why I was overweight and still am overweight, still fighting to get to a healthy weight for me. I own my addictions. I did have a little bit of a hesitancy with the alcohol one, but I have to be honest with myself if I'm trying to keep myself healthy. So let me be honest with y'all, So that's how I'm a patient. I have a video up on my channel right now. It's from months back when I first started this channel, and it goes into my mental health journey. I will warn you, if you choose to check it out, it is not that great a quality. I mean, I'm not the greatest quality now, but it's not that great a quality. An hour long. And trigger warning, okay? Because I do go into like the darker part of me getting to the point where I understood I needed help. So you can definitely check that out. Now, when I say a mental health patient, and if you do watch that, I'll just skim through this real quick. I'm a newer mental health patient. I've been working in mental health for 8 years, but I've only been taking care of my own mental health for 2. Because I was in denial, I didn't believe I had what I had. I thought, I might just be borderline personality. Another reason why I don't like that diagnosis, because you have therapist friends who say, hey, you start to kind of believe it and think that's kind of your diagnosis. And then come to find out I'm not. I'm bipolar and anxiety and ADHD, all of that stuff. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a better idea about when I say patient, what I mean. I'm a patient. I really am, on both sides, on different sides of the coin. I'm a recovering addict, but I'm also a mental health patient as well. So what made me get into mental health? I had a crazy early 20s. I was leaving a domestic violence relationship from my oldest son's dad. So I ended up in a domestic violence shelter. After that, I went to a transitional shelter. After that, I went to another transitional shelter. Just because I was homeless. I had nowhere to live. It was just me and my son. I don't have family supports out here. So when things go bad, it is me by myself. So I ended up in shelters. And while I was there, I ended up running into so many great workers, people who took their job seriously, was trying to be encouraging, helping people try to get back on their feet, to be successful, and to navigate this crazy world. And they were awesome. And I will never forget, there was one time I was getting ready to leave my last transitional place, and I was talking to one of the workers at the time, and the story is crazy. It goes so full circle. I talked to her, I looked at her, I said, you know what, this is something I think I would be able to do. I want to do something like this. I want to work in this field to where I can help people. And she was like, you can do it. I was like, no, you can't. And she was like, you can. She said, if you really want to, find you a job. There's plenty of places that hire entry level. You don't need education right away, all of this stuff. And I was like, okay, thanks. And then I left, right? And so I went to call center jobs and I was unhappy. So around the year 2011, I said, I'm done. I'm tired of this. I don't want to do call centers no more. So the first step I did was try to get an education. I didn't know what degree I was going to go after. I was thinking an AA. I didn't know if I wanted to do a bachelor's. So I went ahead and I did an AA, started my prereqs, and left the call center field. I did that because I had a friend who I was in shelters with prior. She had started working at a substance abuse treatment center, and it was the treatment center that she had actually graduated from when she was getting sober. And I had saw that she was going to school. She was also wanting to get into mental health, become a caseworker, all of that. So I was like, oh, we got the same ideas and your job is, hiring. Let me see what I can do. And I got hired. And I'm just going to speak for Arizona, so that way you have a little bit more understanding of education background from me. Whenever you start working in mental health out here with no experience, no education, you're automatically considered a behavioral health paraprofessional. That is an entry level credential that you have. And that's where everyone starts off with, unless you have some type of education or work experience. So that's how I started. I didn't need to have a degree. I didn't need to have even been in school. I was able to get in off of the fact that I was someone who was in recovery myself, and that I was motivated to try to help people, get better and feel better about themselves. So I worked there a year. The entire time I'm still just taking my prereqs online. And I got itchy feet and wanted to do more. I wanted to get more experience and different experience, because the treatment center I was working at was just a treatment center that focused mainly on sobriety. They weren't really mental health focused. They had groups. You could see a therapist if needed, or if that was part of your treatment plan, but it wasn't pushed on everyone. The main focus was for you to get sober. I think it was like a 90-day program. So, 30 women and kids. It was I loved the job, don't get me wrong, but I wanted just to get a little bit deeper into the field. So I found a different position at another rehab for clients that needed a little bit more help than those clients. I ended up going to a substance abuse treatment center for the seriously mentally ill, or SMI. Now, for someone to be considered SMI, I'm just going to give you the most generic rundown of it. It is when your mental illness basically controls your life. A lot of the people we were working with were semi-extreme cases, but we were the step that was right after hospitalization. So if they were petitioned to, court-ordered treatment, they would come to us after the hospital. Or if they just needed more time to build their sobriety and more stable on their meds, they came to us as well. Now, our program stated that we were a 90-day program, but in all honesty, most of our clients were there for a year or more, because after they left us, they went to another level of care, which was independent living. But that's a whole different conversation, because I didn't go there. That my partner did. I got him into this field too, by the way. So during this time, while I'm working there, I worked there for 3 years. I had decided that I wanted to go ahead and get my bachelor's. I said, screw the AA program. Let me go to my bachelor's program. And I chose a degree which would have been a bachelor's of science in human services with an emphasis of children and families. I chose that because in that type of a degree, it covers substance abuse, it covers mental health, it covers so many aspects of the mental health field, to where I can get a job anywhere with that degree, right? So that's what I switched to. So I'm working with the seriously mentally ill. Their main focus is therapy. It's very therapeutic based, but they did go to meetings, and we were responsible for getting them there, all of that stuff. We talked, they have case managers, SMI case managers, which are really hands-on case managers. We talked to them, all of that. It was a very educational experience for me. I loved my job. I'm still friends with a lot of my ex-coworkers, because of course we're all still in the mental health field. I loved it. I went deeper while I worked there. I took advantage of any of the education I could, like trainings about bipolar, pharmaceutical, or psychopharmacology. Kay can't remember her words right now. I went deep because I was in school and then I had all this information. I tapped my friends, my friends were therapists or whatever the case is, case managers. I said, I want to know more, and they knew I did. So they helped me understand more about the field, my position, everything like that. So I was there for 3 years, but sadly, I don't have a degree, you guys. You guys might be like, wait, what? Huh? I don't. Because I can't afford to finish my bachelor's. I'm literally a year away. Not even a year. It's less than a year. But because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was younger, in my early 20s, I was thinking of medical assisting, all of that. And I don't know if you guys know, but back then, a lot of the schools that, people went to get their medical assisting certifications were expensive. And most of the ones I went to closed down. So can you imagine how mad I am? Because when I went to those programs back then, they were charging $12,000 for a 9-month course, and that was all financial aid. So by the time I'm getting to the point of finishing my degree, and of course I didn't understand finances, and I didn't know that I didn't need to take out my whole full loan package. There's a whole conversation about that too. But I screwed myself, and I was indecisive, and it ended up coming to bite me in my butt, because now for me to finish my courses, I have to pay out of pocket, and I don't have the money to finish a year or so, about a year at a university. Universities aren't cheap. So yes, I don't have a degree, but I'm a case manager. And the reason why was because I built my experience up as well as getting my education up. So while I was working in that other rehab for those 3 years, and I was getting my school education, I gained a gang of credits for my degree. For me to almost be done, you can imagine how many credits I have just chilling right there waiting for me, right? So for my position now, back then, remember, I was a behavioral health paraprofessional. That's an entry-level position. Out here, for you to move up, you have to meet certain requirements to do that, in which once you do that, that means higher pay, better positions, all of that. So I had worked there for 4 years, and I had already had 3 years of experience to them from my education. Now, don't think you can just play that, okay? Don't think that you can lie, anything. Like, you can't play that type of credit. Like, when you are applying to work in these type of jobs, especially out here, you have to be fingerprinted. They check every resource, every contact that you put on your application to make sure that you are not lying and are qualified for this position, right? So when I left that rehab, I had 3 years of my bachelor's already completed, and I had 4 years of experience. For me to become a BHT, which is a behavioral health technician, you have to have either 6 years straight work experience full-time. You have to have either a 2-year degree and 4 years of work experience, or a 4-year degree, and they ask preferably for 1 year experience. But I didn't have my degree, but I was able to become a BHT because I had 3 years of my degree coursework that I had to turn my transcripts in, show them passing grades, show them the coursework so they saw that it correlated to this field. And then I had my work experience, which they called and verified. And then all the fingerprints and stuff like that. It's hard. I'm not mad about that though, because if not, we'd have people like Chris running around swearing to goodness that they just work this field, and now you're like, wait a minute, that don't add up. So I want you guys to know that's what it is out here. So I was able to, when I was done with the actual rehab, I wanted to be a case manager, and I was going to stay with that agency to become a case manager, but it didn't work out. They were playing me, and I didn't like the agency anymore, actually. A lot of stuff was shady. I didn't like it, so I looked elsewhere, and I ended up finding the position that I'm in now, and I've been here almost 4 years. So yes, is it possible to get into the field? If anyone's ever questioned whether or not they wanted to, and I would need this or I would need that, you don't. There are plenty of, and again, this is dependent on your state, but I will tell you, Arizona is a very, very strict state to work in mental health. Like, you can't get certain licensures if you even had a medical marijuana card. They don't play that. So don't feel like that's something that can discourage you from getting into the field if that's what you want to do. Because I always tell people, if you have a passion for trying to help people, for mental health, for recovery, whatever the case is, you can do it. You're the people I want to work with. I've literally seen people work in this field who thought they were better than the clients, and no. So if you're passionate about it and you feel like that's something that you would want to do, don't let something as small as education, feeling like you need a whole ass degree, to stop you. Because I'm a case manager and I have 8 years experience. I have 3 years of schoolwork. I'm gonna try to get my bachelor's, but I'm at least still in the field, because a big thing with mental health is hands-on experience as well. Working in it, getting the trainings. You get into a good agency, they will train you on how to progress in that agency, to where with my experience and the way my job has trained me, I can go to your house and set up your treatment plan, get you set up with services, all of that type of stuff, which is what I do. I work with my clients one-on-one. I have a caseload right now of about 50 clients that I work with. We go to appointments, I get them referrals, I set them up with services. It is very hands-on, it's very individualized, and I love it. I really do. I do plan on going back for my bachelor's when I can afford it. But one thing a lot of people don't realize is when you're working in like human services or anything that deals with helping people, like mental health, stuff like that, it's not the highest paying job. They really say you love doing this job because you love doing it. It's not because of the pay. So even though I'm at a very good agency, very reputable in my area, I mean, people love us, we don't do tuition reimbursement. So that's something, well, they do, but it's $300 a semester. Like, that's a good incentive, but I still need to come up with the other $3,000-$4,000. So, or maybe even more. It's so expensive, I'm not gonna lie. So that's just a little bit about me, about my work experience. So I'm considered a behavioral health technician. Anyone who is, and again, I'm speaking for out here, anyone who is in behavioral health, even if you could have a 4-year degree. When you credential, you do put your degree on after you sign documents and stuff like that, but you are still technically a behavioral health technician. You move to a behavioral health professional when you're licensed social worker, licensed therapist, licensed drug addiction counselor. Any type of licensing is when you turn into a behavioral health professional. So even though I don't have the education, like the formal education, a piece of paper on the wall, I do have education, but I have work education as well. And I'm right there now with people who did go to school. And I know I just worked a little harder for it, but once I do, finish my bachelor's, if I want to become a licensed therapist or anything that includes or a licensed social worker, anything like that, then I will become a behavioral health professional. So my supervisor is a behavioral health professional. He's my clinical director. I work under him. So whenever I change a treatment plan or do anything, he makes sure that I'm working within sight, within scope, all of that stuff. And that's with most, and honestly, with all agencies. Even if you are licensed, you still meet with your direct supervisor, who is usually like our directors, who are way up there when it comes to their licensing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my work experience. I don't have a degree. I have 3 years of education, but I also have 8 years of working in this field. I'm always so grateful that I work in a field that I'm happy at. I love my current position as a case manager. I love my agency. I'm able to work from home every day. I go to my clients when they need me. It's individualized. My caseload right now is at about 50. That's not bad. I've hit up to almost 100, but it's something I truly enjoy. And will I eventually go back for my degree? Yes, I will, once the funds come in. But right now I'm honestly at the point where I'm like on level playing field. I don't even have to. If I went to another agency right now, I don't even have to tell them I went to school. And that's what's great about this field too. So don't ever feel like you have to be the smartest person. You have to have a degree to be successful in this field. You don't. If you're serious about it, get that entry level position. Learn everything that you can about the field that you're in, about the clients that you're working with, about the disorders they may be dealing with, the illnesses they may be dealing with. Don't be afraid and feel like you have to run out there and get a piece of paper all of a sudden to work and do the job that you love. Do I want my piece of paper? I do. Do I appreciate those who have it and understand the hard work of them having it? I definitely do. And mad props to you, because I'm going to be there one day. But ultimately, me working in this field for 8 years, getting the knowledge that I have is the reason why I hopped on this platform with you guys and react to the Rewired Soul, because now you guys can understand why I say I saw myself in him. I really thought that was someone that had kind of the same, startup, the same story a little bit. No, but I think that's basically it. If you guys want to know more, you can definitely ask me. I can put it in a video for you guys. Any certain questions, any certain questions you might want to know about my job or anything like that, let me know down below in the comments. I have no issue sharing that with you guys. I love my position. I love the field that I am in. And I don't see myself doing anything different. I mean, come on now, 8 years? 8 years and 4 years at one company. I love it. I really do. And I hope that this kind of gives you guys a better idea of who I am, kind of helps you know, who's Kay? Why is she going off on Chris? Why is she so angry? Where does she get this information? Now you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate you guys for subscribing, sticking around. If you made it this far and haven't subscribed, why not? Go ahead, hit the button. I would love to see you guys back here. Comment below any questions you may have about my position, or anything you might want to know more about. Maybe my mental health, maybe my backstory of, substance abuse, or my son's father. I'm willing to share these things with you because, again, these things are serious and they need to be destigmatized, normalized, and understood. So I thank you guys so much for watching me. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.